Hare Krishna Sankar Nitai Prabhu.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Another pronouns. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Hare. Thank you,
You
Prabhuji.
can turn on your video.
Prabhu, I have turned on. Let me just, I think, let me,
You already done? Okay. Maybe I'm okay. That's fine, Prabhu. Maybe.
I think, yeah. There are some light.
No, it's fine. No, my side.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you're ready, we can start, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I think we can start.
You have the co-host access, so you can share, Prabhu. No problem. Hare
Yes,
Krishna
Prabhu.
devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we have the privilege of having His Grace Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu, and we'll be just continuing with the Ajamila pastime. So today we'll be covering verse number 65 and 66 from 6th canto, first chapter. Prabhu, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Let me share the screen. Prabhu, is it visible and audible, Prabhu? Yeah, participants come. Prabhu, is it visible and audible, Prabhuji? Can you please confirm once?
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Oh, take it, Prabhuji. Right. Yeah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So, welcome to the Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya today. So, we'll start with this prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 1, uh, verse number 65. Chapter 1 is entitled The History of the Life of Ajamila. Text number 65. Vipram swabharyam apraudham kule mahati lambhitam visasarja chirat papaha स्वैरिण्यापाङ्गविदधीः विप्रां स्वभार्यामप्रौढां कुले महति लम्भितां विससर्जाचिरात् पापः स्वैरिण्यापाङ्गविदधीः विप्रां स्वभार्यामप्रौढां कुले महति लम्भितां विससर्जाचिरात् पापः Swairinyapangavidhadhihi. Vipram, the daughter of a Brahmana, Swabharya, his wife, Apraudha, not very old, Kule, from a family, Mahati, very respectable, Lambhitam, married, Visasarja, he gave up, Achirat, very soon, Papaha, being sinful, Swairinya, of the prostitute, Apanga Viddadhihi, his intelligence pierced by the lustful glance. Translation: because his intelligence because his intelligence was pierced by the lustful glance of the prostitute, the victimized Brahmana Ajamila engaged in sinful acts in her association. He even gave up the company of this very beautiful young wife who came from a very respectable Brahmana family. Purport: customarily, everyone is eligible to inherit his father's property, and Ajamila also inherited the money of his father. But what did he do with the money? Instead of engaging the money in the service of Krishna, he engaged it in the service of a prostitute. Therefore, he was condemned and was punishable by Yamaraja. How did this happen? He was victimized by the dangerous, lustful glance of a prostitute. Text number 66. यतस्ततश्चोपनिन्ये न्यायतो अन्यायतो धनं बभा बभारास्या कुटुम्बिन्या कुटुम्बं मन्दधीरयम् Yatah, tatah, wherever possible, however possible, cha and upaninye, he got, nyayataha, properly, anyayataha, improperly, dhanam, money, babhara, he maintained, asya, of her, kutumba binya, possessing many sons and daughters, kutumbam, the family, mandadhi, bereft of all intelligence, I am this person, Ajamila. Translation. Although born of a Brahmana family, this rascal, bereft of intelligence because of the prostitute's association, earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitute's sons and daughters. Omagyanatimirandhasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं मङ्गलं कायते कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं श्रीचैतन्यं Hare Krishna. So once again, I would like to welcome all the devotees for today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Prabhu, am I audible, Prabhuji? Is it the voice is okay? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu, you're audible, Prabhu.
yeah. So I'd like to offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas here. So seeking blessings from all the Vaishnavas so that we can do the service nicely. So, so this actually this canto is quite a powerful canto because all the cantos and this canto especially because in the fifth canto, Sukadeva Goswami has explained about so many hellish conditions of life. Correct. So one may be very fearful in that canto while reading so many punishments and so many hellish planets and all. So this canto comes as a big relief actually because this sixth canto, especially the pastime of Ajamila, where the glories of holy names were explained. It comes as a big relief, for all the readers of Bhagavatam, because just by chanting one holy name, of course, in a utter mood of helplessness. Uh, Somebody can get rid of all the sinful reactions. That the power of the holy name is very vividly described here. So, actually, just like a befitting pure Vaishnava, Parikshit Maharaj at the starting of the chapter, if we see little background of this thing, starting of the chapter, he was very much concerned how one can be coming out of this miserable hellish life like that. He was asking. Then Sukadeva Goswami told that. Actually there is all the sinful activities have some atonements. Basically, atonement means prayaschitta. So he was telling that one has to follow that atonement. So by doing that, one will elevate himself to different planetary systems, and then from there go to Vaikuntha. But the problem is, one keeps doing these no sinful activities because the root is not uprooted. Correct? The inclinations or proclivities are still there. Only the outside activities and the atonements will work at a superficial level. But if we have to completely get rid of it, the root is kama vasana. That's called proclivity, the inclination for the kama. That has to be uprooted. But that is not possible with atonement. Correct? So, Sukadeva Goswami was giving this solution of one has to atone. Immediately, as a very inquisitive student, very the one who is extremely attentive. So Parikshit Maharaj asked another question. What is that question? That just like an elephant, it takes a bath. That's called Kunjara Sauchavat, right? Manye Kunjara Sauchavat, he mentions that. The elephant goes to a pond and takes bath. So by that time, it will be clean. But when it comes back, again, it puts dust on its body. Similarly, Jiva, he may do a lot of atonements, prayaschitta, but again, once he comes back, he'll do the same thing again. So it will be keep a repetition. So there is no end to the cycle of doing a sinful activity and then again doing atonement, again coming back like that. So he thinks that that may not be a proper one. Just like there is one person, so he has got the boils on his body, boils on the right leg basically. So he went to a doctor, and the doctor saw the boils, and then he has given some medication, and the boils were gone in few days. And the boils, after few days, the boils came on the left leg instead of right leg. Again, he went to the doctor, he gave the medicine, again, that's got cured. But this time it got on the right hand. So it keeps happening three, four times again and again. So this person was thought, Arey, why it keeps coming? Although he's giving medication, but it's not seems to be working. Why it keeps coming? So what he did, he went to another doctor who is an expert doctor, and the doctor first did his blood test, and he understood that there is an impurity in the blood itself. So that is the root of all these boils. It's keep on coming again and again. So he treated the blood, and the boils didn't come up again. So that is how here the atonement is like a it actually takes only that particular sinful reaction, but the sinful proclivity is actually still there. Because of that jiva keeps doing it again and again. Correct? So that is why he will again do it. So then Sukadeva Goswami tells kechit kevalaya bhaktya. If somebody is rarely, if somebody comes to the bhakti platform, and then he be engaged in the service of Krishna and the devotees, then there is a chance that he can get out of the cycle of this one and all, he tells him. Correct? So that's the power of so I think there's one more shloka. It's called Kejit Kevalaya Bhaktya. So let me just see that. It's very, yeah. So okay, I think somewhere it's there. Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayanaha Niharameva Bhaskara. It says that just like a sun, he dissipates all the fog. Similarly, the bhakti can uproot all the karmic reactions. In the Brahma Samhita also we have seen, correct? Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Actually, the karma is very difficult to uproot, but if somebody is engaged in the pure bhakti, then all the karmic reactions are completely uprooted like that. So now coming back to this, then actually Sukadeva Goswami started narrating this story of Ajamila. Now how the powerful process of bhakti, just like chanting and hearing, so how powerful it is. Then he started explaining this story of Ajamila. Correct. So probably I think. If you see, yeah, correct, in the text he starts 56 to 57. So we'll just go through these things and will. So in the beginning, this brahmana named Ajamila studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir of good character, good conduct, and good qualities, firmly established in executing all the Vedic injunctions. He was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. Furthermore, he was always truthful. He knew how to chant the Vedic mantras, and he was also very pure. Ajamila was very respectful to his spiritual master, the fire god, guests, and the elderly members of his household. Indeed, he was free from the false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. Actually, see, this is the Ajamila's very exalted position. So he was such an exalted Brahmana. He had all the 12 qualities of the Brahmana. Kshama, Dama, Shaucham, Shantam, Kshantim. So all that comes in the Bhagavad Gita, right? All the qualities of a Brahmana, he was having it completely. But the power of the bad association is very much vividly described. How the bad association can drag one from a very exalted position to a very heinous position was there. If you see here, that's what in the purport also Prabhupada tells that. In other words, Ajamila followed the rules and regulations of celibacy as a perfect brahmachari and was soft-hearted, truthful. How he fell down in spite of all these, will be described in the following verses. So if you see the next verse, once this Brahmana, following the order of his father, went to the forest to collect fruit, flowers, and two kinds of grass called Samit and Kusha. On the way home, he came upon a Shudra, a very lusty fourth class man, who was shamelessly embracing and kissing a prostitute. The Shudra was smiling, singing, and enjoying as if this were proper behavior. Both the Shudra and the prostitute were drunk. The prostitute's eyes were rolling in intoxication, and her dress had become loose. Such was the condition in which Ajamila saw them. So this is Prabhupada many times in his lectures tells that at that time there was only one Ajamila who has seen one bad side. But in Kali Yuga there were hundreds and thousands of Ajamilas everywhere. They made it, here you see, as if it were this proper behavior. Actually, they made this as a quite common that the women and men are very intimate on the in the public like that. They made it very very common. So there are hundreds and thousands of Ajamilas. But what is the remedy also Prabhupada gives here? See, long ago, when he saw the scene of a drunken Shudra and prostitute, Ajamila, who was a perfect brahmachari, was affected. Nowadays, such sin is visible in so many places, and we must consider the position of a brahmachari student who sees such behavior. For such a brahmachari, to remain steady is very difficult unless he is extremely strong in following the regulative principles. Nevertheless, if one takes to Krishna consciousness very seriously, he can withstand the provocation created by sin. Yeah. So I think this is the point, extreme important point, that I think one time I was hearing in one lecture that one Maharaj was giving a class to all the brahmacharis in the temple. So he asked the brahmacharis that starting in the starting of his lecture on. So how many of you are married? Please raise your hands. Actually, that class is for the brahmacharis only. But everybody got shocked. Then Maharaj was laughing and he was telling that, oh, then you all should get married. He said, it's again even more shocking. Arey, why Maharaj is telling like that? Then he said that you all should get married to Bhagavatam. That's what he said. Married means what? You have to be so much committed to Bhagavatam, reading, studying, going deep and following, preaching, and all these things. That will actually save you from all the these tangles of this material. Like that, he started off his lecture. So, Grahasthas are married, but brahmacharis also should get married to the Bhagavatam. That's what Maharaj says that, you know. So this is the same point Prabhupada is telling here. Unless, nevertheless, if one takes the Krishna consciousness very seriously, he can withstand the provocation. Because the taste, every jiva is looking for a taste, is it not? But if a brahmachari student is not getting a taste in Bhagavatam, he will look for the taste outside somewhere else. Correct. So similarly, and Bhagavatam is Rasamalayam. It says that, right, in the third verse. Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam shukamukha amrita drava samyutam pipata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Actually, Bhagavatam is a rasamalayam. So if somebody is fortunate to get the taste in reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam, distributing Bhagavatam, then is the most fortunate person, because that is the only thing that can help us to come out of this thing. Correct. So especially in the Western countries, restraining oneself after seeing such things is very difficult. Nevertheless, if by the grace of Krishna one adheres to the regulative principles and chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna will certainly protect him. Indeed, Krishna says that his devotee is never vanquished. Actually, this is one thing is the endeavor of the devotee, other thing is Krishna is very merciful. Actually, Krishna sees the sincerity of the desire of the devotee. He's trying his best. So that is why he says that kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranasya, my devotee will never be vanquished. Although sometimes he may seems fall down, again I will only lift him back, because I know that he is very sincere, but due to some reason, some circumstances, he's fallen down. Again, he'll come back. That actually, that is the mercy of Krishna, because who we all know Krishna is the Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, right. Every life after life, there is only one person comes with us. None of the possessions, people, nothing comes with us. Life after life, only one person comes, that is Krishna Paramatma. Why he comes? Because he is very loving to us. That is why he comes. He's very merciful. So sometimes devotee, he tries very hard, but he falls down due to that, so much of attachment to all the bad things. Again if he comes back, Krishna will be very happy, because he's trying again, and again he falls, again he comes back. So but at one point of time, one has to become very serious. That is why it is said tivrena bhakti yogena. Bhagavatam says, right, akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. If somebody does the tivra bhakti means intense bhakti, absorbed in hearing, absorbed in chanting, absorbed in seva. If somebody is very absorbed, then Krishna will immediately recognize, and then he will be helped. So there is one story I was hearing that I think many of us already knows this story. How, although a devotee, sometimes he is a very sincere devotee, he fell down, but Krishna will immediately lift him up. That is one such story. There are many stories. One such story is Vipranarayana story. In the South India Srirangam temple, there was one Brahmana called Vipranarayana. So he was such a exalted devotee that he doesn't care for anything except the service of Krishna. And what is his service? He every day goes to the garden, plucks flowers, and then he makes a garland, and he makes a garland, and he offers it to the Ranganath temple. Correct. So that is his service basically, and he very simple living and high thinking. He is very much like in that manner. So all the devotees, everybody is very inspired by him. So one day there is one prostitute in that village called Deva Devi. So she was going right in front of his house along with his sister, correct? So so that time this Devadevi was telling about his sister was telling about how great he is. He's not at all. He doesn't see any woman and all these things he tells. Then Devadevi, "Arey, is it?" Then then there was some, I think, some bet or something that sister was telling. If only if you could make fall for you, if you could make him fall for you, then I will serve you for another 6 months. Like that, there was a bet. So this Devadevi took it very seriously, and she wanted to, entice Vipranarayana. So she joined there as a servant in his garden, and doing the proper service for so many days and months and all. So she got the trust. So finally, there was one day when there was a lot of rain and things like that. So there was a lot of seduction happened, and the Vipranarayana fell down in the sense from his standards. Then he got attracted to the Deva Devi, and then eventually he fall down. Eventually he was very much became lack in his service to Lord Ranganath. So after a few days or months passed like that, so Lord wanted to take him back again in his service. Lord has seen him, that my devotee has now became very relaxed, in the sense not from his service. So he wanted to help him. So what he did, there is some jewelry which is supposed to be in the temple. It was Lord kept it in the Devadevi's house through some priest or something, and everybody was searching for that jewelry in the temple, but nothing is there. And finally, it came Devadevi's house, and she told that he is the one who has given it. So this person Vipranarayana took to the court, and then he was almost to be punished like a Marana Dandana like that. At that time, Lord came in his to the king in the dream or something, and he told that no, no, he's innocent, just leave him. Like that. So at that time, almost at the edge of the death, Vipranarayana thought that, "Arey, what have I done? I used to serve Lord so nicely. I used to spend whole day in service. How come I got distracted?" Then he took that as a very serious step, and then he from that day onwards, every day, what he used to do, he used to take the dust from the devotee's feet and apply on his forehead and full the body, because he understood that unless I become extremely humble and serve the devotees of the Lord, who are the servants of the Lord, then I'll be able to come out of this kama vasana, lusty propensity like that. Then then he that is why his name became Tondar Adipodi Alvar. Actually, he's one of the great alvars in Sri Sampradaya. Tondar Adipodi means the one who takes the dust from the lotus feet of the devotees of the Lord. He's called Tondar Adipodi Alvar. Okay, so the Lord, that is why he's very merciful. Kaunteya Pratijanehi. If somebody sometime sincerely serves the Lord, then they're for sure. That is why Lord always tries to help them. So here also Ajamila, he's actually very well situated Brahmana, but now he is again falling down. So how Lord helped in the further verses. The Shudra, his arm decorated with turmeric powder, was embracing the prostitute. Yeah. So and an illusion, he fell under their control. Yes, correct. As far as possible, he patiently tried to remember the instructions of the Shastra, not even to see a woman. With the help of this knowledge and his intellect, he tried to control his lusty desires, but because of the force of Cupid within his heart, he failed to control his mind. Yeah. So although he tried, but still is unable, because that's what Arjuna asked, right? In a Bhagavad Gita, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna. This is very, very difficult to control this desire. So as if somebody is catching the neck and then is making us to act like that. So Now coming to the this verse, in the same way, yeah, just like the sun and moon are eclipsed by low planet, the brahmana lost all his good sense. So he always thought of a prostitute. Actually, this is what the problem is. Actually, he saw the prostitute, but the thing is, the second thing happened, which is a contemplation. you know that is when the all the things happened. And then within a short time, he took her as a servant in his house and abandoned all the regulative principles. In Prabhupada gave the lecture on this verse, on the next verses. He told that he is doing that live-in, that live-in culture, whatever is there. That is, Ajamila was doing that live-in with that, servant prostitute. He took her, regulative principles. Then, thus Ajamala began spending whatever money he had inherited from his father to satisfy the prostitute with various material presentations. So that she would remain pleased with him, he gave up all his Brahmanical activities to satisfy the prostitute. See, this is how he was and how he is now. All he is spending all the money. This purport is very interesting. There are many instances throughout the world in which even a purified person being attracted by a prostitute spends all the money he has inherited. Prostitute hunting is so abominable that the desire for sex with a prostitute can ruin one's character, destroy one's exalted position, and plunder all one's money. Therefore, illicit sex is strictly prohibited. One should be satisfied with his married wife, for even a slight deviation will create a havoc. A Krishna conscious Grahastha should always remember this. He should always be satisfied with one wife and be peaceful simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yes, otherwise, at any moment, he may fall down from his good position, as exemplified in the case of Ajamila. So, Ajamila had a young, beautiful wife, but still he went out of the boundary and then he brought the prostitute inside. Correct? So, that is when all the problems started. Coming to the 65th verse, because his intelligence was pierced by the lustful glance of the prostitute, the victimized Brahmana engaged in sinful acts in her association. He even gave up the company of this very beautiful young wife who came from a very respectable family. See, this is so he, Ajamila, what he has done, he tried to remember the scriptures and then try to so basically at the intellectual level he was not convinced at the heart level. He was convinced at the intellectual level, and he is trying to use that intelligence, okay, at that, but that was not sufficient, that was not enough. Okay, although one may read so many scriptures and so many things, but unless the heart is not convinced, one will do it again and again. Correct? It is like saying that there is one, you know, we heard this. There are some birds. Uh, they come to one place where generally that hunter he comes and then he puts that net and put some food so that all the birds will come onto the net and then he will take away. So the birds knows already. So while the birds, when they're coming to that place, they keep singing this one song. That song, like Prabhuji was telling that Shigari aayega, jal bichayega, dana dalega, fasna mat. So they say that the hunter will come, he'll put the net, he will put the grains. Don't get stuck. Don't get get for his trap. Like that, they keep singing. But once they come there, the hunter he put the net and then he went somewhere and put food and some went somewhere. Again, the birds came in the same net. Again, they tried to eat food. Why? Because they thought they're little more intelligent. They'll take food and then they'll go away. But as soon as they take food, they immediately get trapped. Correct? And then again, the hunter comes. Although they know it, they're still caught, and the hunter caught them. And when they're taken in, the hunter when he puts in the bag, right, again when he's taking them back, still in the net itself, again they're singing again same thing. Shigari aega, jal bichayega, dana dalega, fasnama. So that means it is at the intellectual level only. We read it, we say it, we tell it, but when the actual that situation comes miserably fail. Why? Because the heart is not convinced. It's all at the intellectual head level only. So that Ajamila's case is like that actually. He was not so big. What that is why what happened. Bhagavad Gita clearly tells how the fall down happens. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Bhajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Krodho Vijayate. Correct? Clearly tells while contemplating the objects of the senses. Actually, this is what he is doing. He saw the prostitute, but he was keep thinking about her again and again. This is the problem. With that, what happens? A person develops attachment for them. Attachment means he says that I want her. Basically, that is what is attachment. And from such attachment comes what? Lust. Lust means what? I want it at any cost. Attachment means I want it, but lust means I want that at any cost. That is when he takes her, and then he brought her to as a servant in his house. So if you see the purport, Prabhupada writes, one who is not Krishna consciousness is subjected to material desires while contemplating the objects of the senses. The senses require real engagements, yes. And if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of the material. So either this or that, correct? Because senses have to be engaged, correct? So either they want Krishna conscious engagements or they will be obviously in the materialistic engagement. It's not like, it is no to this and no to that, no, one has to say yes to something. That is why this process is very beautiful, bhakti, because bhakti does not negate the sensory activities. It tells to improve, the quality of the engagement. But there are many processes outside. They will tell just to shut down, shut down, shut down. That may give some temporary relief, but that is why Bhagavatam very clearly says the impersonalistic people, they may with so much of effort, they may go to very high level, but they had to come down because there is no taste, because they have given up all the taste. No, 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 there is no taste. So if they eventually they had to come back to look for a taste in some philanthropic activities. And that's why it is said aruhya krichena param padam tata patanti adhu anadhrita ishmadam. Correct? It says that all they may with so much of endeavor they may go up to the Brahma Jyoti, but they had to come down, correct, for the materialistic activities again. So that's what happens in the material world. Everyone, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, to say nothing of other demigods in the heavenly planet, is subjected to the influence of sense objects. And the only method to get out of this puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Yes, correct. Okay. So Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, but when Parvati agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal. And as a result, Kartikeya was born. But of course, Lord Shiva, we all know he's a Vaishnavanam Yathashambhu. Whatever he does is actually out of Yogamaya potency. So, but still, Prabhupada gives this example that even a person of such high caliber, if one is not very careful, he may fall down. Even of such high caliber. That is why he gives that remedy. When Haridas Thakur was a young devotee of the Lord, he was similarly allured by the incarnation of Maya Devi. But Haridas easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Krishna. Yeah, correct. So he gives that actually in one purport, Bhagavatam Prabhupada writes that if somebody is very sincerely following the bhakti and chants continuously, by the grace of Haridas Thakur, one can get out of these lusty propensities, like that he writes it. So Haridas Thakur, just like he is chanting continuously, similarly, if any devotee who is chanting continuously and then try to remember Krishna, they are always insulated, from the influence of the material nature. As illustrated in the above mentioned verse of Sri Yamunacharya, a sincere devotee of Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That famous shloka we all know, right? Yadavadi mama chitta Krishna padara vinde navanava rasadhamna rantumasit bhavati. Tadavadi nari sangame sangamane bhavatu mukha vikar sustumishtivanam. Correct? Whenever actually uh, Yamunacharya in his earlier life, he was very much attracted to the this pleasure, sexual pleasure. But when he became, when he got the taste of the Krishna Bhakti, then he tells this verse that that taste is so newer and fresh that whenever I think of the man and woman coming together, my lips curl in distaste. No, I feel very disgusting that enjoyment like that. So that is the test actually. The sincere devotee of the Lord, he normally, naturally, he loses all the interest in the material activities. That is what is. So that is the secret of success. One who is not therefore in Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses, by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail for the slightest thought of sense pleasure. Yeah, we have a classic example for this, correct? So there are two examples, many examples. Two such examples we could remember is Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra Muni was such a high ascetic. He could do it for thousands of years, tapasya, with so much austerity. But one tinkling bell of a Menaka has agitated him so much that he gave up the austerity and he left off the track for some time. Again, he came back. But one slightest thought, because the controlling senses by artificial repression is very difficult, because it is just like controlling a tiger. You know Artificially you suppress the tiger and then put him to the cage. It will always look for the opportunity to devour it, correct? Devour the person who captured it, correct? Similarly, all the senses and mind, they are like a very strong wild animals, correct? So they're ultimately they will if somebody is not very uh, alert, then they're surely ultimately to fail like that. And there is one more person, Shaubari Muni. His name also comes in the Bhagavatam, correct? So Shaubari Muni, he actually went underwater for tapasya for many thousands of years, but because one mistake he did, offended Garuda. Because he offended Garuda, one mistake, that to a very exalted Vaishnava like Garuda, then what happened? He got attracted by seeing two fishes mating. In the water, obviously fishes will be there. So when they mate, he is got attracted, and then that lustful desires got aroused in his mind. Correct? See, no, that is what it is. For the slightest thought of sense pleasure, it will agitate such a high, elevated sage, correct, powerful sage. But because one offense were Vaishnava, he again he had to come out of the water to marry the daughters of Mandavata. I mean, come off track again because of this thing. So there are many things. One is intentionally doing it, another one is through the offenses. Anything, one has to again, come back. One has to come off track like that. But if somebody is very sincere, then Lord is being very merciful. He keeps giving the opportunity for the devotee to keep coming back, keep coming back. Actually, many times it was portrayed that Lord is like a very, in the Christian religions, you see Lord is a very angry personified. He's always looking for your mistake, and then he's always ready to punish you. No, actually, that is a very primitive understanding of Lord. Lord is actually being very merciful. Okay, so he's, although he's trying to help, sometimes we fall down. Again, he's ready to help us back. Only thing is, our motive should be very clear. If the intention is very clear and the devotee is very sincere, then there is a chance that he will be coming back. But if the intention itself is wrong, that I want to get everything like that, then it's a problem. If the intention is pure, that I am a servant of Krishna, jivera swarup hoy krishnera nityadas, that is my eternal position, just like a fish in the water, that is its natural position. Similarly, for a jiva, the natural position is always to think that I am a servant of Krishna. If this is clear and the intention is to please Krishna, serve Krishna, then although because of so much of attachments he may go off track, but he will come back because the intentions are pure, intentions are clear. then although he may be weak, but he will come back by the Lord's mercy, because Lord is being merciful. He is always looking for the opportunity to help the devotees to come back to the track. And obviously we seen in our life also, when a child is trying to walk, correct, he may fall down, but when the child is trying again, how much parents will become happy, correct? When the parents see the children, they are trying again, they fall down, they're trying again, how much the parents, being the parents, we become very happy, right? Similarly, yes, we may go off track, but if we really want to come back again, Krishna will be very happy. He give all the facilities, all the, everything, so that the devotee is again coming back like that. Because that is what a, that's what, right? All the normal father of this world can have so much of mercy, so much of this one. The supreme father, who is magnanimous in his nature and no blemish in his character, how much he actually tries to help the devotee. So this is his mercy, that mercy, uh, the Lord's mercy. We have seen so many pastimes, so many great shlokas. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jighamsha mevaya idapya sadhvi. So such a, demons also Lord gives the mercy. Why Lord does not give mercy to the devotees? No, he will give it, but the only thing is, one has to be sincere in his motivation and intentions, and one has to strive forward, yeah, like that. So yeah, so going to the next one. Yeah, this one. Krodha bhavati sammoha. See, once that lust is there, if the lust is fulfilled, greed will be there. I want more, more, more. If the lust is not fulfilled, immediately krodha, anger will come. And as soon as the anger is there, the one of the nature of the krodha is sammoha, illusion, smriti vibramaha. The memory will be completely, uh, memory will be gone. What does it mean? Memory will be gone means, he may learn so many things, but at that time he doesn't know what to do, what not to do. That the memory RAM is deleted, like that, correct? So one may help me so much, but on that spot I don't remember anything. He may have saved my life in my previous, previous time, but I don't remember at all, because that's deleted. I am an angry platform. So smriti vibramaha, the memory is cleared off. So I could not remember that this person has saved me in the past life, in my previous part of my life. I forget. So with that Smriti Vibramha, what happens? Buddhi Nasha, the intelligence gets lost. Once the intelligence is like a security guard. Once that security guard is done, then complete destruction only. Buddhi Nasha Pranashyat. Correct? So that is what happened with Ajamila. So because of what happened, mainly because of the bad association of the prostitute. Association, see, bad association, he did not associate with her personally, correct? First, what happened, he associated with her in the mind. The contemplation happened again and again and again and again, and that's what is also association. Correct. So our, somebody was telling, our biggest non-devotee associate is every day is our mind only. Our mind is the biggest non-devotee, and we are 24 by 7 with living with the non-devotee. Like that, some one devotee was telling in the lecture. So like that, here he keep on contemplating, and then finally he made a plan, and intelligence is lost, the spiritual intelligence, but the material intelligence took over that time. Material intelligence means what? Whatever one thinks, all the abominable things, material intelligence makes a plan. Okay, you want prostitute, get her in as a servant in his house. Who has given? The material intelligence has given it. And you drive away all of your, parents and the wife, all these things. Who has given? Again, material intelligence. So as soon as spiritual intelligence is gone, material intelligence will take over and then do all the things like that. And then all the money which was supposed to be spent for Krishna's service, he was using it for the prostitute service. And what happened? See, this is very important. Whether properly or improperly. Actually, in this lecture, Prabhupada was telling that one has to earn the money properly as per his occupation. Like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They have their own way of earning money, earning livelihood. Correct. So one has to stick to that. Correct. But here he became so degraded than Shudra also. He doesn't bother whether it is Nyayata or Anyayata, whether it is properly or improperly. So he used to plunder, loot, cheat, anything just to get the money to satisfy the prostitute, like that, just to maintain that family. Correct? Kutumba Vidya, posting in many. So this is very important actually. One has to be uh, very careful in his earnings and in spending also. Correct. So somebody was telling that one nice pastime Prabhupada's happened, that one devotee came to Prabhupada and told that, Prabhupada, I think there is one yogi who came to the town, and he was very popular. What he does, if somebody puts some small dollar 10 rupee dollar on his chair or something under his, actually he doesn't accept any money. He's very famous that he doesn't touch any money. So if anybody puts any dollar, $10, 100 rupees dollars, $100 here under his feet, he feels as if there is some snake is there. He's very, very renounced Prabhupada, so popular is. So Prabhupada was laughing like anything. He says that, okay, you do one thing. You call all the people and tell him to bring that suitcase of money and take to me. I will embrace that suitcase and they can take a photograph of me. Like that he says. Why? Because this money is not mine. This money is Krishna's money. Correct. So this money, that person is thinking that I have to renounce money. I have to renounce what? You don't possess anything. What is the need for renouncing? Just like if somebody comes to other relatives, if somebody comes to others house and tells that I renounce your fridge, I renounce your TV, I renounce your everything. You don't own only those things. How come you can renounce it? Similarly, these things are actually Krishna's property. These are not our property. Correct? So, who are we to renounce it? Like the Prabhupada is very clear. He has seen everything as a property of Krishna, including himself. Everybody as a servant of Krishna. The money, everything belongs to Krishna. Correct? That is Prabhupada's always on a very high level of consciousness. Correct? And because of this, we also was very fortunate to get all this wisdom. Correct? Prabhupada, such a merciful Acharya. He he has given these gems, right? Very, very small, small things he has given these gems actually. So so the money Prabhupada was telling here, actually it is supposed to be used for Krishna's service, but this Ajamila, because of this bad association, he is using everything for the prostitute service. And in that lecture, Prabhupada at the end, he concluded with this one thing, which is very very amazing. Actually, he tells that just like this bad association of prostitute has made Ajamila fall, similarly, there are so many Ajamilas who are falling down every day in and day out in the society. That is why we are here opening so many centers, so many temples to give that good association. Because with that good association, one will again come back to the track and then he can be reformed. And that is why he is urging actually all the members of Krishna conscious movement to be ideal devotees. In that lecture he tells, if we have if there is some section of the society who are very ideal, then there is a chance that the society can be very happy. But if we, as a devotees, if we don't behave properly and if we don't be a good examples, then there is no use of opening many temples, many centers like that, because the purpose of the center is to give a proper good association to the people. And if we don't behave properly, then what is the use of opening the temples, like that Prabhupada tells that in the lecture. Okay. So it is a great responsibility on all the devotees, all of us, that as a members of Krishna conscious movement, we have to really study Prabhupada books and understand the mood of Prabhupada and try to extend as much as possible in this mission, like that Prabhupada was telling. So yeah, so although born of a Brahmana family, this rascal, bereft of intelligence because of the prostitute's bad association, earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitute sons and daughters. Yeah, it's like that. So, Prabhu, I think we can stop here, Prabhuji. 8:10 it is already.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful class. I think you covered so many points, emphasizing how our senses are so weak and we can fall prey very easily. I liked your final statement, which you talked about how Prabhupada was, saying that we are renouncing, but what are we renouncing? What we don't own. That was very nice. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll just cover a few points Prabhu noted. You emphasize in terms of how rare it is to get into the process of bhakti yoga. So it's so rare. He talked about the pastime of Ajamila, where he was do an exalted Brahmana, and this episode clearly highlights even they can fall just by power of wrong association. And you talked about association doesn't have to be, for a long time interaction. It could be contemplating of mind just by seeing something. And
Yeah.
you very nicely said, that we are living with a permanent association for us, which is our mind. Still
Yeah.
be purified was very very, it was very very, I would say striking to me to say that. Yes. And then you talked about how it's most fortunate, most fortunate is one who gets a taste for Bhagavatam, whether it is listening, whether it is reading, whether it is distributing. And Krishna is very merciful, and you give a lot of hope to say that, what he sees is the sincerity. So, which means, you gave a very nice example of how devotees get protected by the Lord. That is a Tondal Pudi, I'm sorry, Tondaradi Pudi Arvar. So, it was very nicely you emphasized how it is. And you talked about Kama is, this all these illicit relationship is very, very strong, and one should stay away from it. And that can be done by having, engaging your mind for a higher taste. You also talked about lust, which means, it actually means I want it at any cost. So the contemplation is a bigger enemy over here. So mind plays a very, very big role here. And you talked about the senses need to be engaged for a higher purpose of life, which is Krishna consciousness. You gave a wonderful example of Haridas Thakur, how even when you compare with Lord Shiva, not to compare this, Mrs. Even they could, fall prey to a, kind of sense gratification or something like that. And you gave you gave two munis of Vishwamitra Muni as well as Shauna Rishi, right? You gave two examples.
Yeah.
And then you very nicely brought up to say Haridas Thakur, he could still, because of his unalloyed devotion to Krishna, he could actually overcome this allurement. And then towards the end, you just talked about um, Vaishnava offense also is one of the reason why a devotee can fall. So we have to be very careful in that. And then intention is very, very important, which is what Krishna sees. So which can actually put across in this. So such a devotee, though he may fall temporarily, but Krishna will take care of him. And then you said towards the end very nicely that, ISKCON is a place where we give good association. So we lead by example, and also we inspire people to, not fall into these associations. So thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you
That
for the
is what
wonderful things.
Prabhupada ended with that lecture, Prabhu. Amazing lecture, that is. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So, devotees, if you have any questions or you want to share any reflections, please open your line and you can share your perspective or
Should I
question.
stop share, Prabhuji, or
Yeah.
Prabhu?
no, should I stop sharing, Prabhuji, or
Yeah. Yes. You can stop sharing,
Mm.
but play on video so that everybody
Yes.
Yeah,
can.
yes, sir. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Excellent lecture and very nicely Prabhu has summarized everything. Very nice. Now, but I have one doubt about this birds. This one, they say he will come and he will put a net and this thing. Don't fall into that. They say, but even after falling into that net, they keep singing.
Yeah,
That at mind level or the intelligence level? Mind level they have, but they don't have the intelligence to not to fall.
correct. They don't have the intelligence to not to fall. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what. Mm.
you are asking, is it? I mean, why they are singing although they are stuck in the net?
No, that is to tell each other not to fall.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
But Prabhu, you said it's at the mind level.
Yeah.
So I was
That's
just
correct.
thinking.
See,
Mm.
that's correct, Madhu. Actually, it's rightly at the mind level only. See, intelligence means what? Uh, there are two things: intelligence and discrimination, Madhu. Correct.
Yes.
Discrimination means to discriminate, to differentiate between what is good and what is bad.
Mm.
Same thing. Intelligence means that's what. No, discrimination and determination, that is different. So basically, intelligence also the same thing only. Correct? To discriminate between what is good and bad, and to do it basically. So many people may have intelligence. Intelligence means what? They know what is good, what is bad. They know it, but they don't have the sufficient determination to do what is good.
Put it into action.
Correct? With determination, they don't have it. Correct?
Yes.
So that may be at the intellectual level only. Intellectual means like we know it. Correct? We know what is good, what is bad. Just like a thief knows that if he is caught, he'll be punished. Correct? But still he do it. Why? Because just the intellectual conviction will not help us. We have to be thoroughly convinced in the heart.
Yes, yes.
Prabhu, I mean, if I can just add one thing over here
Yes.
as we are speaking about it, because what also happens, let's take our own human beings, for example. We know what we are doing is not right. We should not be doing it. Then why are we still doing it? We know drinking is not good. We know drinking is going to get us into a lot of problem, can get
Correct.
so many things, but still we go for it. The
Yeah.
conditioning makes it. The modes of material nature can get you if our the urge of the senses sometimes will make it very, this is not going to happen. This is not going to affect me. We are in a situation as if this is not going to happen to me. Like like we keep talking every time, no? Like
Mm.
the first Yaksha Prashna, the most bewildering thing. What happens is everybody is dying
We'll go
today, but I'm going to be there forever. And this something like it's more conditioning.
correct.
So whether intellect or mind, I mean, at the end of the day, even if you're convinced that when you execute, the modes of material nature play in such a way that it's not going to happen to me. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I
that's
felt that was even for a, what do you call, the most civilized and intelligent class of human being itself can think like that, then what to speak of lower
correct.
species who are limited.
That's what it is
Yes,
said, Roji. Like, say, if somebody is a chain smoker, he has smoked 99 cigarettes, and if you put another cigarette in front of him, what he'll do? It is 99.9% he will going to smoke it, correct?
Yeah.
But there is still a chance of 0.001% that he can reject it also. That
Yes.
is because he has a free will.
Yes.
Right. That free will is always there. But because of the conditionings, previous conditionings, we can almost predict that what he is going to do. But still there is a free will is there. That free will actually that can be ignited with a good association. If somebody is keep on doing good association, then that free will can be used properly, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still that free will is there. Yeah. So that's what Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapap. The same thing, Arjuna's question. Although the person knows what is good and bad, still he does it. Why? As if somebody is catching the neck and then making him do it. Krishna tells the answer, Kama Esha. This is because of lust only, Arjuna. Lust means I want it at any cost. Means in the earlier I have received some taste from that activity, correct, and the taste was so deep rooted in the heart, in the mind, and I didn't have any higher taste at all. Then the mind, there is no question to choose. Because I had taste here, I had to go back again, because there is no higher taste only, correct. When the higher taste itself is not there, obviously they have to go to the lower taste only, correct. So although one may read 100 scriptures, but the higher taste is not there, still they'll go back to the lower taste, like that.
Yes,
Otherwise,
Prabhu.
yes, Mataji, yeah, Prabhu, I think Sankarshan Priya Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhu, please,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
please share, Prabhuji. Just wanted. Yeah.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu. I have one question, Prabhuji. So you mentioned that the biggest non-devotee is our mind, is always accompanying us all the time.
Yeah.
Can I miss that part, Prabhu? Can you explain that a little more,
No,
beyond
no.
more?
I mean, by nature, mind is always like um always wants to take us away from Krishna, right? So non-devotee means what? Non-devotee means basically he takes us away from Krishna, and by nature, mind is also like that only. Correct? The nature of the mind is so unless we do a proper engagement of the mind can always cheat us. That is one devotee was telling. Although we may be there in the midst of a devotee, but we are always there with a non-devotee also. That is our mind only, unless we are careful, we can anytime it can be this one, like that.
Very true, Prabhu. Super information. This actually.
Yeah. I think I also read it somewhere in some I think in the Back to Goddard magazine. I think maybe Chaitanya Charan Prabhu said. I don't know who said. I mean,
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
mentioned about it to say the mind is material.
Yeah.
So the mind is by nature, it's all coming because we are in contact with material. Mind is material. So you have to keep him as like, I mean,
Correct.
it should be taken as he's a non-devotee. So if you make him the devotee is the best part.
Correct.
So first thing we should do is preaching to mind
Mind.
to make him devotee. And then your life is much better.
Yes, Swami.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari.
Do we have any other last comment or question before we wind up for today?
So I'd like to seek praise from all the devotees that I can become sincere like all of you and then serve the devotees nicely and control my mind. That is very important. I am very struggling with my mind and senses.
Prabhu,
Please.
you are actually closest to temple, so your mind is controlled by Krishna. Don't
Physically, yes, Prabhu, but mentally, miles away.
Anyway, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your association and wonderful class. I think we all enjoyed knowing. I mean, though we know it, it's more like the churn really happens only when we read it in depth. And thanks for giving various clarity. So we'll be having our class tomorrow from the temple, and tomorrow is also Advaita Acharya. It's appearance day. Appearance day.
Yeah.
Appearance day. So we'll be having special program in the class. So please join us tomorrow. And before we just end the class, we'll do the Vaishnava pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishvanebhyo namo. Anantakoti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Vaishva Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.